Say, you know how it's like you see those fights one-on-one, and then like three of one of their friends jump in and start gang beating up the guy, and you're like, well, what the hell? It's a one-on-one. If I was in that situation where I was the one guy, four guys were attacking me, and I got one of them below me, I'd bite his fucking nose off.
Do you think it would deter the others?
I definitely. They'd be like, oh, shit. Oh, my God.
I wonder if acting like a zombie would help. Because people always come with fists, but if you come with mouth,
yeah,
that's
bite
pretty
their
intense.
fucking throat out.
Yes.
I mean, you're going to jail.
Right.
It really depends on how bad you want out of this fight. That would you rather go to jail and have to go to court, trial, talk to a lawyer, respectfully speak to the judge?
Would you?
No, I'd rather not. I'd rather just get beat up. I've been to court. I hate it.
What'd you go to court for?
Public intoxication.
No way.
And I won my trial.
And for the next 10 years, we went on a rampage.
Haven't been stopped yet. No.
What happened?
Huh?
What happened?
I was 16 at the beach with I went with my mom.
Yes, I remember this.
And then separately, as soon as we landed, I was like, all right, see ya. And I ran and we had a bottle. My mom had a bottle of like a small bottle of Jack in the car for herself because we were going to be there all day. So she was like, I'm just going to pour myself like 2 whiskey Cokes. And I ran to the car and I just chugged it because I was 16. I didn't know how much. So I was like, this is my one opportunity to drink it. So I was just fucking pounding it. And then I ended up blacking out. And I remember I went into this record store that had a bunch of buttons. They had like 2 bins of like buttons, like band buttons.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of like the Smiths and Misfits. And there was a CKY button and I love CKY. So I was just pocketing everything right in front of the guy. The guy was literally as far away from me as you are from me right now. The register guy. So he was just watching me drunk, and then I kept walking up to him being like, do you know CKY? And he was like, brother, you got to get out of here. I think he let me steal the buttons. And then as I was walking out, I looked up and I saw a CKY hat. It said fuck you. The name of the band is CKY. It was that Viva La Bam Margera.
Oh, okay. They had a band?
Well, it was Darren Miller, Chad Ginsburg, and Jess Margera was the drummer. Bam Margera's brother. But they were very much... They have songs like in Jackass and shit.
Oh, okay. Cool.
They're a Philly band. But their name was CKY, so their merch, it said fuck you, with the CKY like emphasized. Because F-U, CKY, O-U.
Right.
And there was a hat. I just jumped up and I grabbed it. And a siren thing went off and I ran. And I just ran to the beach. And then I was like, I made it. I got away. And then I stripped down to my underwear and I got in the water. And I just started screaming for some reason. Like I was just in the water like, ah! Ah! And then when I came out of the water, there was just a bunch of cops sitting there. And I was like, what? And they didn't breathalyze me or anything. They didn't do any sort of test. They just put me in a...
They just knew.
They just knew. But that's not good enough. So when it went to a little trial, I took the stand. The cop that arrested me, this was like literally 9 months later that this happened. And the cop that arrested me at the beach went up and he told this actual fake story. Like an actual fake, like... He came out stumbling and he fell to his knees and I had to pick him up. And then he couldn't hold himself up and he couldn't speak. And I was like, well, that's not true. Because I was like, I'm not drunk. What? And I never fell. And I was fully standing. So then I went up and I gave him some, I guess it wasn't crocodile tears because I was 16 and nervous on the stand. So I was like, that guy lied. I was like, that guy lied. I didn't know police were capable of lying, and that makes me fear for the justice system entirely. And I just fully...
No way.
Oh, yeah. I fully was like, if he can lie, how far does it go?
Oh, God.
And I was like, this is who you have in power as a liar. He's lying about a 16-year-old boy who was there with his family. And I just kept being like, I was there with my mom. Why would I do? How would I get drunk if I was with my mom? And then the judge was like, you keep mentioning your mom was there. Is she here with you today? And I was like, yeah, she's sitting in the back. And she was like, do you want to let your mom take the stand? And I was like, yeah, let's do that. So then I ran. They were like, all right, fucking 10-minute recess. And then I ran to the lobby and I was like, Mom, you gotta tell him everything was right. Everything was a lie. Tell him I wasn't drunk. But my mom knew I was hammered. She picked me up from the police station that night. And my mom took the stand and stared at me the whole time while she was like, no, he wasn't drunk. I was with him the entire time.
Really?
Like just staring at me like, you little fucking punk. And yeah, she lied on my behalf and then we both got off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did the cop go, ooh?
Yeah. Oh!
Yeah.
You could tell he was like, what the fuck? He looked like a piece of shit. He was an actual piece of shit cop. If he didn't lie, I would have totally been like, yeah, he's right.
What did he lie about?
He lied about the whole story about me falling. He said I kept falling and I couldn't speak. And I like swung on people. And none of that happened. I was like, well, I wasn't blackout. I remember all of that. And none of that happened.
You should have said that. I wasn't blackout. I remember what happened and that didn't happen.
Fucked up. I wasn't that fucked up. But yeah, that was the one time. Oh, and I stole a phone in high school. And I had to go on a little juvie court run with that. I stole a brand new iPhone from my teacher.
Really? Why'd you steal it?
Just a punk kid. Just wanted attention, really. It's funny, the judge threw out the case and he went, Patrick, I think realistically you just want attention. And this ain't the way to get it. He said, like, contribute to society. That's how you get attention. And I was like, oh. It, like, bummed me out. I was like, Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now you do SmudgeHawks.
Yeah. Now I do SmudgeHawks and stand-up comedy. Have you ever gone to court?
Only once.
For biting a guy's nose off?
Biting a guy's nose off and shooting a woman. And rape.
Rape.
But it was a crazy trial. The odds were stacked against me. But I know the system, and the system knows me.
Yeah. And you had a good jury.
I had a good jury. A perfect jury.
And a perfect lawyer.
Once the right jury members were gone, the ones that needed to be gone. An infinite blood trail.
You bit a guy's nose off, you shot a woman, and then you raped.
No, just general rape.
General rape.
Yes.
And then rape. And did you represent yourself?
Yes, I did. Yes, I absolutely did.
What was your first offense?
I said, Your Honor, let's rethink all this. Your Honor.
Rethink this. In what way, Dylan?
In every way you thought possible.
Well, that makes me rethink some things.
Yeah.
Now you've got me thinking.
Yeah, no, I think I had a couple traffic tickets. No, I don't think I've ever been to court. One time I got out of jury duty and went on a cruise.
What? How did you do that?
I said, I'm going on a cruise.
And they were like, oh my God, of course.
Yeah. It was,
just let you get off?
Yeah.
That seems crazy.
If you email them and you go, hey, it's like, I really got to go.
I really got to go on this cruise.
I booked, it's non-refundable. I'm poor, etc.
I have heard you could just tell them I'm biased. You could just say, hey, I'm biased.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a good juror because I'm... Like, you could see what the case is about.
I hate white children.
Yes.
I have a bias against white children who have been murdered. I'm sorry, Your Honor. It's just, I know you need to find the killer of all those women, children, and puppies, but I've got a bias.
I believe in your body, my choice.
Yeah.
I'm one of the rare few.
Unfortunately, this is a conflict of interest. And I'm going on a cruise.
Oh, you're going on a cruise. You should have started with that.
You should start with everybody loves a cruise. You ever been on a cruise?
No.
Oh.
I've never been on a boat.
You've never been on a boat?
Didn't we talk about that on the last episode?
I don't know.
Or maybe we talked about that recently. I've never been on a boat ever in my life.
That's so strange.
Yeah, I've never been on a boat.
You lived in a town close to water.
Yeah, I've been on a boat that was docked, and it was like one of those.
It
like,
didn't leave the dock?
No, it was like a retired boat, like one of those like. This is like an old Navy boat from like the Cold War.
Oh,
Like
that's not a boat.
Yeah, and it's just docked, and you go, and the guy goes like, "Yeah, that's like that thing, and that's this thing, and this is where the captain slept," and you go, "Oh wow." And my dad was crying because he loves history.
Dads
so much.
Dads love boats, dude.
You bring a dad on a fucking an old war boat, he will just tear up. He'll straight up sit there going, "Yeah, it was tough back then."
It's so funny because like the wars that they're talking about, they weren't a part of either.
No, not at all. Well, my dad was in the Navy.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes sense.
Shit like that actually does. He is like it was tough, man.
And then you're 12 and you're like, yeah.
I've seen my dad cry. I guess a couple times. I think he cried when my mom died. I don't remember, but I like to imagine that he cried when my mom died. No, he definitely cried. But my dad always cried at the movie The Mask.
With Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz?
Not that one. The one with Cher. And the kid has the deformed face.
Oh, with the big forehead.
Mm-hmm. And the red curly hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie.
I never saw it, but why did he cry?
Well, he dies in the end.
Oh.
The kid dies in the end. And
does he get like bullied to death or something?
He has a shit life.
Yeah.
And he falls in love with a blind girl. And this blind girl falls in love
with him. But then the
him.
blind girl like touches his face and then freaks out, right?
No. She touches his face and she says, "I think you're beautiful." And that's where my dad, this was always me and my brother, because for some reason that movie came on all the time. I think it was one of his favorite movies. But you would be sitting there, and I'd be like sitting on the ground and he would be on the couch behind me. And at that scene, it's such a quiet moment. And I would just hear my dad go, and I'd be like, "Oh my God." And when you're like 7, you're like, "Well, oh my God, Dad's crying. What do I do?" It's such a like freak thing to see.
Wow.
My tough Boston dad.
What's a movie you cry at?
Oh, I'm a fucking huge crier. Most movies make me cry. Remember when we watched Call Me By Your Name and I bawled my eyes out at the end?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when I showed you that fucking episode of Stranger Things where Eddie dies and I bawled my eyes out?
Yeah, and I was kind of sitting there like... Who gives
I'm a huge crier when it comes to...
He's an actor. This is all pretend.
Yes, the performance of it, the writing. You go, it's such a good story arc. Oh my God. What about you? Since you're so fucking strong, since you're so emotionally held together.
I cried during American History X.
Oh, actually?
Yeah.
What scene? When the son gets shot in the end?
No.
What scene?
Scene where he goes to jail.
I hate injustice. Why would a man be punished for
an innocent white man with an unfortunate tattoo? No, yeah, I cry in some movies. Oh God, there's just this movie I was watching that, dude. I watched Zootopia the other day with Jack, and I was like, I didn't cry, but I was like close. You know that when you're going.
Yeah.
You know, you go, I'm not so bad. That's not so bad, dude. You got that's not so bad. You got that's not so bad. That's not what you feel like.
No, no, I'm not going to.
No, guys. No, don't get down there.
Oh, how could I? That's why Asian people eyes are so squinty.
Because they're always sad.
Not to cry. They're constantly going, oh, no. Do not cry for my ancestors. Well.
We've started this episode off hot.
What are we, 16 minutes in?
Yeah, nothing.
That's not bad. The algorithm won't catch it. I don't think the algorithm would catch Asian voice.
Only if you say it.
True.
For anyone out there listening, it's Cantonese. No, I've had a couple movies where I've cried, and I remember one time. Oh God, I can't talk about that. Okay, have you ever had anything else ever happen?
Ever in my life?
Yeah.
When I came here today, I was thinking about your location of where your apartment is and how nice your apartment is. But the outside world here, South Austin it has its pits. And I stopped to get gas before I picked you up. And next to the gas station, it was a Chevron behind like a fuck ton of trees. And I pulled in and there was just a bunch of scared white women getting gas. It was legitimately 3 white women who were like a squirrel who knows there's a hawk hovering around.
The strange thing is just Austin is so white, so like any pockets of diversity, people freak out.
Well, the diversity is a disheveled black guy going, "Hey!" So,
Not always. Not always.
but a lot of it is the diversity is a bunch of black people on a corner who are homeless. Which, not saying that's all black people.
Bus stop.
But
I'm talking more the bus stop. The bus stop is good.
Mm-hmm.
Bus stop is just like working folk.
There's a lot of bus stops that are not working, folk.
I disagree.
I think the bus stop is for homeless people to get into something that moves them somewhere else.
No. No. That can't be true.
I think it is, unfortunately.
We'll agree to disagree. But yeah, I made my apartment not like that.
Yeah, this doesn't look like a bus stop, which is great. But
everyone who lives here, I've lived around there, walked around the podcast, capital. Been around the paper.
You went Cantonese.
Yeah, sorry. I'm thinking of my other podcast I do.
The Cantonese Hour with Dylan Sullivan.
Dylan Sullivan and Jack Gallagher.
Jack Gallagher.
Jack Gallagher, have you ever been on a boat? I ask him the same questions.
I have never done anything ever.
Yeah. So.
But that gas station is next to a Holiday Inn that is no longer
don't give specifics.
It's no longer a Holiday
People are
Inn.
going to be zeroing in.
This is right next to you. Let's say that. No, but the gas station is next to I did give a lot of specifics. You could look up a Chevron that used to be next to a Holiday Inn, and then I'm going to describe it even more. But this Holiday Inn, it was a clear Holiday Inn. It's a clear, you could see the ghost of what the sign used to be, but now it just says motel. It was like somebody put up a sign that just says motel. And outside of that, there was this collage of a person who was like beet red in the face, glasses, and like dreads, and a neon green skirt, but it was a guy. And they were on a flip phone, and they were looking around, and then some big black guy pulled up, and he like walked into the motel with that person. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. Because it was clearly a prostitute. It was clearly a insane hooker.
What did the hooker look like?
It was like picture like Dee Snider.
No.
Dee Snider. Let me pull up Dee Snider. But it was he had a neon dress on. That's D. Snyder.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what this person looked like. But with a neon green, like, dress and beads, and his face was beet red, but he was walking flamboyantly. And then some black dude pulled up and was like, "Is it in here?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he was on a flip phone. And the black dude got out of the car, and then they walked, and she was all, she, whatever, was all like, "Come in, honey." And they walked into the motel together. And I was like, that's crazy.
Wow.
And then next to that, there's a tire shop that's no longer active, but there's still stacks and stacks of tires. And there's just an old falling off the building sign that says tires. And then above that, there's a giant billboard with Travis Kelce's face on it. And it says beer flavored beer. And he's holding like some new beer. I was like, this is a hellhole that we're in.
Oh, yeah.
This is an actual hellhole.
In
But then
that.
you go up the street, you turn the corner, and there's your beautiful little apartment. There's your very nice, secluded, gated off apartment.
Thank you for all of that, Pat.
Yeah, how do you think I felt? I had to live in it. I had to be in there for a second.
I remember your old apartment as well. Remember the one where you had to walk everywhere?
Holy shit.
I would park there at night, and I'd be scared to be parked there.
Mm-hmm. Terrifying place. It was insane. I had to walk every day. I had to walk with my phone in my hand like it was a gun. And I would like make myself sweat before walking somewhere. And then I would put my hair in my face, and I would breathe heavy as I walked. So every time I was walking, I would be like, so that I looked like I was on my way to kill somebody so that nobody fucked with me.
Yeah. They call it the urban scowl.
The urban scowl? Is that
Yeah.
actually a term for that?
Yeah, it's actually a thing.
Yeah, that's what I had to pull off. And then one time I was doing it, and there was
It's basically you act mean so that people don't fuck with you. Because in the pits of society, it's viewed as a weakness to look kind.
Mm-hmm. Which it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. If fucking Isla Fisher was walking down the street, I'm sure she might get fucking popped in the head.
Who Isla Fisher is?
I don't know. I think she's like a... I think she's like a redhead actress.
This episode sucks ass.
This episode's great. What are you talking about? We're going crazy with it.
We're going crazy with it. Look at these flowers, Pat.
Who do you think of our friends do you think you could coerce into sex? Of all of our friends, or a famous person. Do you think you would be capable of coercing someone into sex?
Someone straight or gay?
Both.
I mean, gay, it's at least a little easier. I'm not saying it's like probable, but it's easier because they're gay.
So like an Andy Dick?
Oh, I could get...
There is no coercing there.
No, I don't know. I would be afraid to try to coerce Andy Dick into sex because if he rejected me, I'd blow my brains out.
True. I didn't think.
If I got rejected by Andy Dick, I would be like, well, time to pack it up.
Yeah.
I'm becoming an office assistant in Nicaragua.
Yeah,
And you're never hearing from me again.
Just literally hobo sack.
Yeah.
Just hitchhiking down the street. I can't whistle.
Hobo sack and Office 365. And then I'm just walking through Nicaragua, finding whoever needs an office assistant.
Some guy picks you up. Where you going? I don't know. Handy Dick rejected me.
Take me to an office.
My God.
Take me to an office park. Any office park.
Take me to an office park now. Oh, man. Did you watch that documentary on Andy Dick? I don't want to speak ill of the man. Legend of our time, but...
No, I didn't watch that documentary, and let's get off Andy Dick.
All right. It's tough stuff. Let's just say it's tough stuff.
Yeah, I bet.
He's living a hell.
Oh, God.
You can fall from grace. Boy, can you fall from grace.
This episode fucking sucks.
This episode's great. What are you talking about? Do you have any subjects? Do you have any?
No, I got nothing to talk
You didn't
about.
come up with some subjects?
I didn't come up with nothing.
I had another one I wrote down.
What'd you write down?
I don't know. I wrote something crazy.
Andy Dick again?
Oh, I wrote down eating your fingers. That's not anything. Because we were riffing about nibbling on your fingers and toes.
We're jumping. Oh, we could talk about something we both know a lot about,
What's that?
which are the Beast games,
Yes.
which is a game I think that is created from the depths of hell and brought to the world.
100%.
It's a show where how many people were in it? Like 1,000? Like 1,000, something like that. Like 1,000 people compete.
It's the greatest satanic ritual of our time.
Yeah. And the competition is for $10 million. And it showcases the worst parts of humanity. And what's the guy's name? Mr. Beast's name?
Jimmy?
What's his last name?
Beast? Jimmy B. I have no idea.
No. Don't you know his name?
I don't know. Jimmy.
You're a huge Mr. Beast fan.
Yeah. It's Jimmy something.
But he just goes by Mr. Beast.
He goes by Mr. Beast.
Also satanic.
Satanic. The Beast. Yeah. Satan the Beast. The Satanic Beast. Mr. Yeah, what's that Mr. stand for? Satanic?
What do you think that's all about?
I don't know. I try not to knock him because I do love him, but Eve loved a serpent at a point.
Did she?
The devil comes bearing gifts, as I said last night, and $10 million is the new Apple. It's the new, yeah. It's the new but don't you want $10 million? But I think God would say don't. Money isn't everything. Money means nothing. Money's a man-made.
Yeah,
concept.
I understand that, but also, hey, I gotta pay my taxes and afford a 1-bedroom apartment in a bad part of town. I don't think that's that greedy. It probably is in comparison to the rest of the world.
Right.
But bro, God, I'm pretty chill.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing everything by the books here.
I'm not that lavish.
I'm fucking hanging.
You ever worry about that? What amount of money does it become that you're not Christ-like?
I was watching Nate Bargatze last night, and he has $80 million. And he told a joke about how he doesn't want to run out of money. And I was like, oh, but I was watching him, and I was like, it's so weird that this guy has $80 million. It's weird when you're watching someone and they have hundreds of millions of dollars, and you're like, how can I listen to you? You're living such a life that I can't comprehend, because I don't even have $100. And you have millions of what I don't even have. It's crazy. There's so many people who's the richest person in the world? Oh, there's billionaires. Jay-Z, Oprah, Jeff Bezos, Elon. They're billionaires.
Yeah, I think they got some trillionaires in the Middle East. I think that's where all the real money is.
It's crazy. What do you do? What do you do? If you had $1 trillion, what would you do?
I think at that point you just kind of control the world and
Right, that's what you would do. You'd get into some shady business because you would need. It's like Epstein. Not to
I don't know how many ethical ways there are to become a trillionaire, but it's not. I don't know.
Mr. Beast is doing that, seemingly.
Where do you think Mr. Beast comes from? We should do some little research on this.
I don't know. He's from Minnesota or something.
I was high and watching that show.
Which might be the bad combo. Maybe that's what it is.
But I was like, I don't know what this is, but this is for sure satanic.
It seems satanic. It seems crazy.
I mean, it's literally a showcase of humanity's grossest features.
Yeah. legitimately the 7 deadly sins on full display at a rapid rate,
Yeah.
at the highest degree.
And then some guy in the background going, yeah.
Yeah,
His crew.
Just a bunch of just a bunch of hype twinks.
Hey, yeah, bunch of dude. Mr. Beast has a hell of hype twinks.
Hello to hype twinks.
Yeah.
I was going, oh my god!
Did you see the train? We don't. Oh.
Yeah, even though they produced the show.
Yeah, they know exactly what's gonna happen.
And then a train hits a dummy, and they go, oh! I can't believe she did that.
Yeah. I wonder how you apply for that job. Like, you just go in and like, yeah, so the gig is basically you just got to react to stuff as if it's a surprise, but it isn't a surprise.
Yeah, you know.
You're the cutaway guy.
You're the cutaway guy.
I've been doing cutaways for 15 years in the business. Here, do anything.
Yeah.
And then someone like snaps and go, you just snapped?
That's how you get that job.
Yeah.
You did not just snap. Oh. We act like it's magic.
Yeah. I've been doing it for 15, 20 years now. He's the best reactionary in the game.
I would love to hear, because I guarantee Mr. Beast has been invited to some fucking crazy compromising dinners, you know? Like, I'm sure a guy that big, he's definitely getting some mails, some letters in the mail that are like, you've been invited to these woods.
It'd be so funny if they did that by mail.
I would reckon they would. Like an owl drops it off in your chimney, and it like floats to you.
Like Harry Potter.
Yeah, exactly. Then Mr. Beast opens it, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And then him and his hype punks are like, "Oh my god, we got invited to Bohemian Grove."
Yeah. What would you do with 10 mil?
10 mil. I would give 5 mil to all of my family members. Like, I would distribute that to the family. And then I would take 5 mil for myself and be like, all right, what do I do with this? And I'd probably buy a house.
Okay,
and
what
a
would you
car.
do with $5 million?
I'd buy a house and
You'd buy a house and a car.
A cheap house. And a cheap car.
How cheap are we talking?
Like $20,000 to $30,000.
For what kind of house is that?
Oh no, a house? Yeah, like a $250,000 house. And then like a $20,000, $30,000 car.
That's like an apartment in Austin. And a bad neighborhood.
I would just want something sustainable. So I'd get that house, and then I would get a car. Maybe I would get it outside of Austin, Georgetown, something like that. And then I would get a car, and then I would distribute a lot of that money to friends. Like,
How much am I getting in the...
At least 10,000. If I had 5 mil. At the very least 10,000.
Dude, I thought at least some mil. Yeah, after everything I've done, 10 G's? I'm spending 10 G's in the weekend.
I said at least.
That's rough. I didn't know our friendship had dipped that low.
If I had won 10 mil and I walked in and went, here's $10,000, you wouldn't be like, oh.
Yeah, I'd be excited, but then if I heard you had won 10 million, I'd be like, oh, so you threw me $3? Jesus, dude. I'd go, thanks, Pat.
Okay.
Rough.
That is like a penny.
Yeah.
I might as well have given. It's like if I won $100.
Well, now, but the good news is now I know how much I'm giving you if I get $10 million.
Yeah.
I'm giving you $9,999 over the course of 2 years in equal payments.
No, I probably would take care of you and Heather immediately. My family, you and Heather would be given most of the money, probably. And then I would
Let's just make it. Say you've given all of us money. You've given your family members each like $1 million. Heather $1 million. Me 10,000, and then you have 10 million at your own disposal.
Oh, okay, sure.
What are you doing?
Oh, it's a fucking tough question. What would I? It's weird. I'd want to invest it in shit like stocks.
Boring.
I think I would die.
If you
I
got
had
$10 million,
I think I would ball out so quick and fast that I would die. Because I would want to like travel the fucking world, and then I would be getting shit fucked up, crazy in a part of the world that I shouldn't be in.
This Coke is cut with diamonds.
I would want to try the purest Coke. I would want to try like genuinely the best Coke one could offer. I would want to try
Money is forever, baby. This Coke's cut with diamonds. These diamonds are cut with Coke.
That would be me in Guatemala.
Yeah.
I'd be flashy. I'd be walking down with a stack of money, and I think some guy would like fucking hold me down and chop my head off and take the stack of money that I have.
Interesting.
Or I think I would like overdose or choke on my vomit on a plane.
I think what you got to do is if you get 10 million, the first thing you got to do is get a money manager, someone to manage your money.
Right.
But how do you find the right one? What's your test?
I hate that stuff.
Say there's 3 money managers in a room. What's a question you ask all of them to suss out who's the one you can trust with money?
That's a good question. Which one of you is Jewish?
You got the job.
Yeah, that's it. Which one of you is Jewish? I don't know. What would you ask? That's a tough one.
I think I would take them all.
Skydiving.
Yeah.
See how they react to falling out of a plane.
Yeah. No, I'd put them in situations where like they would have the opportunity to fuck over people
Run them through
I
peace
put them
games.
in peace games.
You would become Mr. Beast immediately. You'd become the devil.
I'd become it. No, I would. I don't know. I feel like you really just gotta. It's like a character test. But maybe, oddly enough, it might be better to like. I don't know if I would rather be in like go to a huge business where $10 million was like nothing to them, so they wouldn't have like that much incentive. I don't know if that'd give them more incentive or less incentive to fuck me over.
Right.
But I think you can easily track that stuff, and if they weren't giving me money that could be easily tracked,
right,
then I know they were lying.
Right. I guess you'd have to. Also, the more money you make, they make, right? Isn't that like the incentive of jobs like that, like an agent and a manager and shit like that?
Yeah.
Is the more money, the more successful you get, they get.
Right.
So they do have an incentive not to like steal from you and fuck you over. Unless you're Dane Cook and you hire your brother.
Yeah, never do that.
That's a sad reality of like never hire family.
I know.
It's a crazy thing.
He had like $10 million in his wallet or something.
Yeah. His wallet. That's something. I was talking to a guy recently. I ran into a millionaire recently. And he went, never do business with family. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, never do business with family. Money burns. He went, money's thicker than blood, unfortunately. I was like, what? Did I tell you that story? How I ran into a millionaire?
No.
I was at Creek. I left Creek, and I was standing there like 2:30 in the morning. And this Uber was sitting there for like 10 minutes the whole time. And eventually I was drunk, so I was like, what the fuck is this Uber doing? Because I thought they were just stalking me. So I went and I knocked on the window, and I was like, hey, what the fuck? Are you waiting for somebody? And they were like, the guy was like, oh, no, I'm talking to this guy. He's telling me his whole life story. And then this millionaire, clear millionaire, like a Succession type, got out of the car.
How could you tell?
His whole outfit, he was crazy high on coke, and he handed the Uber driver $100 tip.
How was he dressed?
Cash. like when a famous person dies and everyone shows up in like a really nice suit.
We're talking like
funeral.
button shirt.
Yeah. Button shirt, nice jacket. I'm so poor, I don't even know how to describe this man. Like Succession, like how they all dress in Succession every episode.
Okay.
That's my poverty description of a rich person. But I looked at him and I was like, and he was clean shaven and everything, and he handed the Uber driver $100 tip, $100 bill as a tip, and the guy was like, "Oh, thank you, my friend." Oh my god! And then I was like, "Whoa, dude, you're rich as fuck." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm Michael. How you doing?" I was
Gross.
Like, oh. Yeah. And I was talking to him. I was like, how do you have your money? Because I was like, I know you have money. How do you have money? And he goes, "My mom plays Francine on American Dad." And I was like, what?
Really?
And he started showing me clips of Francine on American Dad, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, what do your parents' house look like? And he was like, oh my god. And he showed me this fucking like, it was like an L-shaped mansion. It was huge, and it had a golf course, like a whole golf course behind it. And one of the 17th hole on the golf course was separated by this huge pond. And then he was showing me videos of him like riding a jet ski on the pond while his dad shot a golf ball over his head. I was like, Jesus fuck, man. And then I go, so you have a wad of cash in your wallet, in your pocket right now. I guarantee it. And he was like, pfft. And he pulled out this giant stack of 50s, like an insane wad of 50s. And I went, give me one of those 50s right now. If you're that rich, you won't even notice. And he just gave me a 50. And I was like, yo.
Wow.
And then the whole time while we were talking, he goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he handed me this bag of Coke and his keys and went, do as much as you want. And I was like, what? And he was like, I'm so sorry I didn't give you this sooner. And then he just kept showing me clips of Francine and his mom's house and shit. And I was like, oh God, while I was just holding on to this bag of Coke. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And then at the end he went, fuck, so you want me to drive you home or what? I was like, sure, yeah, drive me home. And then we walked up the street, and he had this fucking, just Cadillac Escalade, this nice Cadillac. And we got in the car, and he gave me like this nice kombucha drink with like these chips that I've never seen before. Like he was like, oh, this is like some fucking shit some guy's trying to sell me right now. Try it out. And it was pretty much just like a knockoff Hot Cheeto, but like for rich people. But I was drunk, so I was mowing them, and I was drinking this fucking kombucha. And while we were driving home, I asked him the secrets of success, and he went, don't work with family.
That was his number one.
Thicker than blood. Well, it was one thing that he said that I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never heard some crazy shit like that before.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, you can't. So that was the point of that whole story.
Wow, that's wild.
It was a crazy time.
Yeah, wealth is nuts.
And the whole time he kept being like, I met Josh Potter tonight. And he was so pumped about it. He was so pumped that he met Josh Potter. Which I was like, yeah, that's fucking awesome, Josh.
That's awesome.
And he was like, I can't believe I met Josh Potter tonight.
Dude, that's so funny because like Josh Potter's an awesome dude. Mm-hmm. But it's so funny when you see like people like excited about meeting somebody that you are with all the time.
Yeah.
Or you see constantly.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, Josh.
Yeah, right. And it's like kind of like a laugh that like somebody being so pumped to see them, you're like, really? But it is like, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But for a second you forget that it's awesome.
You keep on forgetting that there's like paywalls to see people.
Right. Yes. Because we just fucking, the doors were wide open for us to see anybody.
Yeah.
At all times.
Right.
Oh, did I tell you about how me and Heather brought her aunt into Mitzi's after Kill Tony?
Yeah, I came by that night.
You were there.
Yeah.
And Tony came over, and they were shocked. And when Tony came over to say hi, they both stood up with their phones like he was a zoo animal. They stood up and went, oh my God, no way. And me and Heather were like, oh no, don't do it. And Tony immediately was like, fucking what the fuck? Put that shit away. What are you guys doing? And then he roasted them, and it was amazing. But it was, me and Heather were sitting there like, I can't believe they did that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
But you forget it's small town people that never thought they would ever be that close to the man they watch all the time.
Right.
So it's like if Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm sure if Leonardo DiCaprio walked up to me, I'd be like, oh my God. I'd freak the fuck out.
Who's someone you'd be legitimately starstruck by?
Do you have an answer for that? For that question? For yourself?
I'd freak out about Sam Rockwell.
Really?
Yeah.
I do like Sam Rockwell.
I love Sam Rockwell. I think he's awesome.
That's one of those guys. I don't think I would be as intimidated. I think he's a cool guy. So I don't think I would be as intimidated by him, you know? Like, I bet he would be cool and would talk to you and be, like, happy that you're happy to meet him.
Dude, the Deftones have been at Mothership all week, and they've seen me perform multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was, like, you know, on the Little Boy. They saw me once in Fat Man, and then this most recent time in Little Boy. I wasn't familiar with their work, but I said something, and I was like, ooh. I was having a good... It was the set. I took mushrooms, and then I did comedy that night. And I love doing comedy on mushrooms. Mm-hmm. I feel like myself. I feel free. Mm-hmm. All that stuff. My anxiety is like gone. Mm-hmm. And I talked to him and I said something in the line of like, because they're a metal band.
You crowd work to the Deftones?
Yeah, he was in the front row.
Yeah.
and so I went, yeah, I'm like the metal of comedy. Hard to listen to. All right.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
You didn't like it.
You didn't like it? Did the crowd like it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all that
I think they like, or I think someone were like, oh, and I was like, come on.
Risky.
He was a good sport, though.
Crazy.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Woody Harrelson was at the club.
Ooh.
Yeah. This last week.
Heather told me that recently.
He gave me a little wave. I was sitting in the back behind Fat Man waiting to go up, and he passed by, and he went, and I went, and then...
That's fucking
I was
awesome.
like, cool.
I love Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson's awesome.
That rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Woody Harrelson.
And it's kind of fun to just do like a wave, and that's my only experience of him.
Right.
He just went, and I went, and that was it.
Hi, Woody. His fucking dad killed JFK. How crazy is that? It's the first thing I would say. I'd freak out and be like, your dad killed JFK. Do you know that?
No.
His dad was one of the CIA. He was in the CIA, and he was one of the guys on the grassy knoll when JFK got shot.
Patrick, don't besmirch the Harrison family on this podcast.
Awesome. I'm saying that's a cool thing.
I don't condone that at all.
Well, what's funny is that Heather told me earlier this week that Woody Harrelson was at the club, but in my head I heard Woody Allen, and I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, how fucking cool is that? And I was like, was everyone just cool with it? And she was like,
Moose joke.
She was like, yeah, everyone was
Midnight in
freaking out.
Paris. I mean,
she was like, everyone was freaking out. They were so pumped he was there. I was like, everyone? I fully was like, no one cares.
Everyone in the audience, Woody.
Fuck them kids.
We only remember you from good things.
Have you seen Midnight in Paris?
No.
It's a good movie up until it's okay. There's an ending that's so. It's Owen Wilson and Rachel McAdams. Do you plan on watching it anytime soon?
Go for it.
Owen Wilson and Rachel McAdams are in a shit relationship, and the whole time she's like clearly cheating on him with a guy, but they don't. It's just like kind of semi-insinuated, and then in the end, Owen Wilson goes up to her and he goes, what I think is my wife is sleeping with that guy, whatever. And she goes, okay, yeah, I'm sleeping with him, but what do you want me to do? Are we done with this conversation? And he goes, I knew it, you see, I knew it. And now, how can we still be together? And it's like a what? They're like, it's like so nonchalant. She's been cheating on him on this trip for 2 weeks. And he's like, you're cheating on me. And she goes, yeah, what about it? And he goes, I just, it's hard to move past that. And she's like, oh my God, you. And it's like, what? It's the worst acting I've ever seen, or directing, whatever. It's so nonchalant, uncared about. And it made me fucking hate the movie.
Really?
So bad. Because you'd think it was like a perfect opportunity to like really pull on the heartstrings of finding out that she has actually been cheating on him. You're going to be like, oh my God, it was true. That's crazy. And all he fucking did was try to bring her to Paris and make their relationship better. And then she's like, oh my, yeah, I'm cheating on you. But what, It's like, what a lackluster.
Why are we still harping on this?
Yeah.
You found out about this 10 seconds ago. Why?
That's legitimately how she acts. She literally is like, oh, all the time with you. I've never liked a Woody Allen movie. Every one of them I've always hated. So I don't care that he fucked a kid. Who gives a shit?
I don't know the whole story. I know Mia Farrow is somehow involved. I don't know.
He straight up R-worded a 12-year-old girl.
And that's proven?
Pretty much. There's some damning evidence.
Damn.
Damn. There's some damning evidence on that stank.
You know who there isn't evidence for? Woody Harrelson. Hey. What's up, dude?
Had he just seen you do comedy?
No, I was about to go up. But okay. I was in the other room. Oh, I got a compliment once from that I was like kind of flattered by. It was I should talk about it. Anyway.
What was it? Who was it? Who did I meet and wave at once? I also did something like that where I waved to a celebrity and they waved back and I was like, I forget who it was.
Cool.
So the story sucks.
I'm telling you, this is probably the worst new podcast episode that we've ever had.
No way.
Yeah.
Should we re-record? Should we start again?
I don't know. I don't know what would save it.
Yeah. Maybe I should have finished my Red Bull first.
Maybe that was a problem.
Maybe it's really interesting and good and we just don't know it yet.
Probably not, but we're shooting for consistency. I'm very proud of us. This will be our third new episode of the channel.
But we're falling off content-wise.
No, not really.
People are going to hate this.
No.
People hate us.
No.
But we like
us. They don't hate us, but they certainly don't love us. Mm-hmm. I mean, the people viewing this probably do. Thank you guys for tuning in, by the way. Liked. You guys rule.
We do appreciate you.
It's just we're trying to figure out this thing out.
What's a really good story? How can we end this with a bang?
I think...
What's the greatest thing that's ever happened to you? The worst thing that's ever happened to you? Something you would never want to talk about.
We can't do that because then it only goes down. I think we need like a game. I wish we could have people call in and we could listen to their problems.
Or we could riff. What about word association? I say a word, what does it make you think of? And then we'll get somewhere with that.
Okay.
Sea urchins.
Shrebbed.
Jewish.
Great.
Crate. Grapes.
Grapes. Chicken. Chicken salad.
Chicken salad.
Waldorf chicken salad.
Chicken salad. The desert.
The desert. Afghanis.
Men with guns.
Afghanis.
Mountains.
Chocolate.
Jonah Hill.
Jewish.
I think we're making a movie right now. We're building a movie. Miles Teller.
I saw a movie. I've gotten 2/3 of the way through a Miles Teller movie this week.
Oh yeah, Whiplash.
No, it's this
War
one on
Dogs?
Apple TV where he protects a gorge with that Anna.
What's
that,
a gorge?
That one chick. It's like a deep, deep canyon.
He protects it.
Yeah, his whole job is to
Don't
go
touch
out.
my gorge.
It's called "Don't Touch My Gorge." Anytime someone goes in the gorge, he goes, "Please don't touch that.
Please don't touch that. You can look at it. Don't touch.
Don't touch."
Look, but don't touch my gorge.
Yeah. Oh my gorge. You just tried to touch my gorge.
You're kidding me.
No, there's like these seemingly demon creatures that are crawling out, and he's hired by the U.S. government to shoot them if they try to get out.
Whoa.
And on the other side, he's in a single watchtower. He's alone and will be for the next like calendar year or maybe 2, something crazy like that. And then there's another person on the watchtower that he's not allowed to communicate with, and it's the chick that's from The Witch, the Menu, that lady.
Yeah.
And she's on the other side. And what do you know? They fall in love.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're falling in love, and then there's trouble in the gorge, and they fall down the gorge. And now they're at the bottom of the gorge, and there's all these demon creatures made out of trees and like stuff from people from the war, from like World War I and II or something.
What?
Yeah.
You sold this movie well. I do want to watch it.
Yeah, it's pretty okay.
You know a movie that was sold on me well because of the title recently? The Man Who Killed Hitler and Bigfoot.
Is that a real movie?
With Sam Elliott. That's the name of the title. That's the title of the movie.
Who's Sam Elliott?
He's that Big Lebowski commentator. He's on the ranch. He's the guy who sits at the bar at the very end of Big Lebowski. He's the one with the...
That's one I still haven't seen.
He's the one on the ranch, the old man on the ranch with Ashton Kutcher. He's the old man who talks like this.
Oh, he's in Thank You for Smoking? He plays a Marlboro Man in Thank You for Smoking?
Yes.
That guy?
That's Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
So he's the man who killed Hitler and Bigfoot. That's the movie. And it's pretty on the nose.
How do...
He kills Hitler, that's like the movie, but then Bigfoot's like a plus. He also just happens in his travels to kill Bigfoot. The movie's amazing.
You know what's so funny is like Hitler is this guy who, killed millions of Jewish people, is responsible for, killing millions of Jewish people. And then Bigfoot is a guy in the woods that's a little taller and hairier than most.
And can stand up straight.
Yeah. So he goes, all right, Hitler. Now for enemy number 2. Bigfoot.
And to kill Bigfoot, you do have to hunt him down.
Yeah.
He's not coming into New York.
No. It seems like Bigfoot, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know the movie, but the lore of Bigfoot is he doesn't want to be seen, and that's why he doesn't get a lot of pictures taken of him.
He covers himself in blur. Before he leaves his cave.
I gotta put my blur jacket on.
I gotta put blur on.
I gotta walk like this.
I gotta walk silly so people don't know.
Yeah.
No, Bigfoot's interesting. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
No.
It's a weird thing that has been around forever. It's seemingly gone away. The cute fantasies have gone away. We've talked about that before. Cute fantasies like the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, they all got replaced by like semi-real terrifying ones.
Right. Yeah, like Tom Hanks drinks the blood of children in a Pizza Hut. Like that's now what we believe.
That's the new
instead of
Loch Ness Monster.
That's the new Loch Ness Monster. And it's not romantic. It's not cute. It's not a fairy tale anymore. It's like, oh. Your childhood hero is a blood-sucking vampire who is run by Jews.
I did like when conspiracy theorists were a lot less harmful when it was like, there's a guy in the woods and he's big and he doesn't like his fiction. And, there's a big sea monster and it doesn't like to, and it does its own thing. We're trying to find him.
Yeah, they're like cute. That was the Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster were innocent. They were always seemingly shy.
The Hope Diamond, anyone who owns it gets bad luck. And now it's like the U.S. government was, it's like, wow, fuck.
Obama fucking killed a bunch of kids to ban.
There's a ring of pedophiles trying to fucking eat children, and you all know them. And the positions they rise to power is because they were. It's like, bro, my brain can really handle like only Loch Ness Monster level lores.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
where my brain stops. And the other shit just scares the fuck out of me.
That's where I like to be.
Yeah.
Ghosts.
Spooky. Look at this creaky door.
Ghost hunting shows.
Yeah.
It's always, when they capture a ghost, it's literally always like those heat thermal vision things.
Yeah.
They always catch a ghost like peeking around a corner and then being like, and that's it. That's literally, we caught a ghost on camera, and it's like, that's a shy. It's a ghost being like, are they still here? They're still here. It's
I just want things to go back to normal.
Dude, ghosts and Loch Ness Monsters and Bigfoot are shy.
Dude, how terrible would that be if you were a ghost? You know, you just like live in an apartment or wherever you go, and you're like, God, these guys are still here. It's not like.
It's scary. It's four guys sitting in the living room being like, come out.
Yeah.
We know you're here. And you're like, dude, I'm not hurting anybody.
Dude, I just woke up.
Yeah. Yeah, the floor creaks when I walk around sometimes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, does the floor not creak when you walk on it, fat ass?
And then it's just, two fucking ghost hunters being like, yeah, I think we totally caught him. He's up in the attic. And
if I was a ghost, I'd be like, yeah, you caught me. And now what?
Oh, man. Oh, I would love to hear those. Whatever happened to those guys? The ghost hunters, Jason and Grant.
I don't know.
Those are their names. I loved ghost hunters. Me and my dad fucking loved ghost hunters.
The fun thing about shows like that is that they never catch anything.
Yeah,
legitimate.
For like 8 seasons.
Yeah.
Legitimately 8 seasons, 22 episodes a season.
How do they get away with, like, that's just like some guy that's like, damn, dude, we could make a lot of money and not do much. Mm-hmm. Do you have like a smoke alarm that we could put inside of like, a bigger black box and have some wires sticking out of it, and we'll call it like a piece of, a ghost defibrillator?
Yeah. That's my fluorophore.
Yeah.
That's my fluorophore catcher.
That's my fluorophorizer.
Fluorophorizer.
It basically tells them there's ghosts.
And then you just hold it against the wall and it goes, whee! And they go, yeah, there's a ghost there.
They just get a stud finder and then Sharpie it in.
That's actually, every episode always ended with them being like, they would hold this piece of technology against the wall and it would like shoot up and they'd be like, holy fuck. And then at the end of the episode, they'd go, yeah, it just turns out you have a bunch of like wiring in your walls. And so there's a heavy like radioactive like energy coming off of it, and that's why you feel weird in this room. It's not ghosts. That's how every episode ended. They were like, yeah, you have like asbestos in your ceiling and it's making you feel crazy. There's no ghost. You're actually losing your fucking mind. And then it would be an old woman being like, you're fucking wrong. I know there's a ghost here. I'm going to get to the bottom of it.
It's called anxiety. Yeah. Get it over with.
That's what every episode was. It was just old people experiencing anxiety and being like, ghosts! There's ghosts!
Gosh. We should start our own ghost show.
That would be awesome. Cassidy used to date one.
Really?
And she was showing me the videos of the guy, and he was just cheesy as all fuck. And he had like a transcriber tool that he sells at the same time, which is funny. Because it's like them being like, yeah, this is like a transcriber. You you just put it down in the room and then ask a question and it transcribes ghost sounds, which is like, dude, if that was real, you don't think the government would be blowing your fucking door down?
Yeah.
Being like, how the fuck do
If you invented that technology for real, do you not think you would be dead in a ditch?
Right, you might as well have created a car that runs off water. You're fucking
Right.
just a fucking bullet through your head immediately.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he'll be like, he'll put this thing down and be like, "Are there ghosts in the room?" And it'll just go, "Yeah." Yeah, and then they all freak out and they go, "Bro, I don't feel comfortable in here."
Do you think those ghost hunter guys like acknowledge? When do you think they acknowledge that it's all a lie? Do you think they ever do, or do you think they genuinely believe it?
I don't know. Dr. Drew's still going.
He's not a ghost hunter.
Yeah, but he's not a doctor either.
Is he not?
I don't think so.
I think he is.
Oh, he might be. My uncle told me he wasn't a doctor once, and I believed it to this day until you just said that. No, I might be wrong. My uncle was a dumbass. I don't know. It's weird. No, that's what I'm saying about the Jason and Grant, the ghost hunters guys, the like famous ones. They don't do like interviews or anything. I haven't seen them on a podcast.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure if they did, somebody would be like, "Do you actually believe any of that shit?" And they'd be like, "You know, well, we made millions of dollars, and that's all that matters."
I wonder.
I also wonder. Because if they fully believed it and they were like, "Yeah, 100% ghosts are real," I'd be like, "Okay,
Also,
I'll take that."
Also, if I was a ghost hunter and ghost hunting was like absolutely real, I think the last thing I would do is make a TV show about it.
Right.
I'd be like, yo, somehow I can communicate with ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what'll really make them happy is if I monetize their existence.
Lights, camera, action.
There is a power out there where after death, people become ghosts and haunt places.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch them and make a TV show and expect that there will be no consequences to that.
Yeah, it's a crazy concept.
Because I feel like if you actually talk to ghosts, you go,
right. You'd be frozen in fear.
yeah, because
you're the first person in history.
There is
millions of years of history. You're the first person to connect with the afterlife.
There is an underworld, and you've just discovered that there's
the reality of what you just unlocked.
Right.
Is insane.
I gotta go to A&E.
Quick, call sci-fi up right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, insane. So yeah, it's not real.
Wild. Is there anything else that you discovered wasn't real, but is? Do you believe in ghosts?
Mm-mm. Not at all. Because I've walked through cemeteries at night alone so many times. And that's where it would happen, right? What in a fucking... although I once had sex in a cemetery, and I felt a weird energy about that.
Yeah, I mean, that could be other things.
True. I think most people have sex in a cemetery. Have you ever had sex in a cemetery?
Can't say I have.
Like in a car. Like I
still no.
Had a Tinder date, and I was like, she was a goth girl, and I was like, you'd probably love to go to the cemetery and get fucked.
And she did.
She loved it, and too much. She loved it a little too much. But I was having sex with her, and I was looking around, and I was like, I feel like I can feel 100 spirits looking at me like, disgusting. Just because it was also like an 18, like every grave was like that died in 1817 and stuff. So it's just a bunch of like Abe Lincoln types being like, oh, despair. Yeah. How despicable, deplorable. They just know D words.
Dastardly. Dumb, drunken, daft, doopy doo.
Due diligence. Doobie doo.
Doobie doobie doo.
duper.
Even in Scooby-Doo, there are no ghosts.
Right. Holy shit. That's true. That's like the message.
Yeah.
The message of Scooby-Doo is it's the ones closest to you.
Exactly.
Because money's thicker than blood.
Money thicker than blood. That's what I'm going to do if I get rich, is I'm going to just hang out in places in a giant sun hat and, like, grow out my pinky nail and start doing ketamine. And I'll go, money always thicker than blood. Give me another Martinelli's, baby. I want to float tonight.
Is it a Martinelli apple juice?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just chugging apple juice.
Yeah, I just buy the beer. Money thicker than blood, but it ain't thicker than a milkshake.
Nothing more thick in this world than
How do you think I would be as a person with a lot of money? Be real.
Well, you're an anxious person. I think you would be the same as me. As if we had so much, if it came slowly, we'd be fine. And I think we'd be respectful with our money and caring. And we'd know to keep the posse and keep the peace and don't do anything crazy. I think we'd be content. But if it came as a lump sum, I don't know. I think it would be...
Okay, describe what you think I would do if I got $15 million tomorrow. How would I change? How would I stay the same? What would I use my money on?
I think you'd become increasingly more anxious. I think you wouldn't trust fucking anybody who talks to you anymore. Because immediately you'd be like, everyone wants my money. You'd immediately not trust anyone who talks to you. You would look at everyone weird. You'd cut off a lot of people and you'd act different around a lot of people. You'd be walking through a club and someone would be like, oh, hey, Dylan. You'd be like, wouldn't you like to know? Just pouring sweat. You'd be walking through the street like a fucking squirrel. I think you'd be terrified if you came into $15,000 or $50 million.
What is this lowballing bullshit?
$15,000. $15 million. $15 million. That's a lot of fucking money. But I think you'd be smart with it over time. Once the anxiety wore off and you were like calming down and you're like, all right, cool, the money's real.
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you move out of this place?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Like, no question. No, I would keep this place, but I would use it as strictly as the studio.
Right. This is now just a studio.
Yeah, and then I'd probably get a house somewhere here.
Right.
And then an apartment in Chicago.
Ooh, and fucking Bastrop. A nice little Bastrop home.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be nice.
Because then it's like I could pass out here when I needed to pass out here, but when I wanted to go and chill hard, I could go up to Bastrop. Mm-hmm. And that's only, especially at night, it's only like, a half hour to the city.
Yeah. How would you, if you had a fuck ton of money, millions of dollars, would you fuck with your enemies?
Yeah.
How would you fuck with your enemies?
I would send them family-sized boxes of Cheez-Its every day for a year. And not say where or who it was from.
That's really actually good. That would scare me. Over time, at first I'd be like, "Oh,
this is awesome." But then when the 200, then you get to like 40 boxes, and you're like, "What
is this forever?" Yeah. I can't forever throw away a box of Cheez-Its.
I would give them Cheez-Its every day for a year. And like a Costco thing of Cheez-Its. Mm-hmm. And then after a year, I would stop and they'd be like, whew. But then like a year after, on the anniversary of the last Cheez-It box, I would start sending them again. And just once a year on the anniversary and then on their birthday, send like 50.
Yeah.
That's how I'd fuck with my enemies. Yeah.
It's funny that I think that would actually fuck with someone really bad. As minuscule as it seems, that would fuck with me. Like around day 65, you would walk outside and be like, "Who's doing this?
Yeah.
Where are you? What do you want?"
Yeah.
Just holding up a box. "What do you want from me?"
Yeah.
You'd be pulling your hair out like, "Who the fuck's doing this to me?"
Just surrounded by Cheez-Its.
What do they want? That's a good fucking prank. That's a good way to fuck with somebody.
How would you fuck with your enemies?
I thought about this the other day and how I want to. So picture that one of my enemies works in like a coffee shop or something. I'd want to walk up to the register, buy a nothing drink, an apple juice or something, and tell them how I came into a giant sum of money and I'm getting out. I'm leaving. They probably won't ever see me again. And like, "Oh, how much? Like, how much do you think? $1 million?" You know, let them know that I just came into a giant lump sum of money. And then telling them when they do the tip screen, saying, "Oh, tip? Name and price." Say 100. Go higher. 1,000. No. I'm telling you, aim for the moon. 5,000? One more chance. 25,000. 25,000? And then hitting the screen. And then leaving and saying, "Nice to know you." And when they flip back the screen, it says $2 tip.
That's fun.
Just a cute.
Yeah.
Because for a moment, they're going to be like, "My life is changing. What am I going to do with $25,000? For 1 minute, they get to feel that way. And then they see that they got a $2 tip and they go,
Yeah.
"Oh, fuck."
And then they go out to their car and it's filled with cheese.
And I run up and I bite their fucking nose off.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we lie about it in court.
Yeah.
We go on a cruise.
And then and then we're on a cruise and we look over and Woody Harrelson's sitting there. Woody! Deftones are playing.
Yeah. This is the best cruise ever.
And then I turn to you and you go, "Money thicker than blood."
Money thicker than blood. Oh. All right, smudges.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think we did it.
We did it.
I don't know fucking hand signals. All right, it's over. Hell yeah.